Not being homeless felt so good. Not being homeless felt so good. Young girl, only 15 years old, Emily was her name. She did so much cocaine, she did something inhumane where she lived in the valley. She gave birth to a baby in the alley. She was scared, she didn't know what to do. The only thing that she knew what to do was to screw. She decided to throw the baby in the trash, had no cash for another human being. She ran away bleeding, didn't look back, didn't care if the baby was breathing. Later on that night, a homeless guy nearby heard a baby cry. A newborn all alone with no mother by her side. He decided to take her and raise her. He named the baby girl Miracle, sleeping the first night in a burned up vehicle. Not being homeless felt so good. Not being homeless felt so good. As the days went on, the little baby girl went from being in arms to walking and speaking throughout the streets, greeting and pleading the world for a couple of cents. A quarter, maybe $1, so Miracle can help his homeless bipolar father. The goal was to save enough, selling all the stolen jewels for the little girl to attend school. Day one, preschool, here we go. Everybody's trying to figure out Miracle. Why is she dressed so hysterical with a ripped up shirt and her irresistible smell that segregates her from everyone else, feeling like hell. Miracle, the little girl, she decided to turn all the negative into motivation. Straight A student from the moment she became fluent in the language of education. After school, as soon as she was done with her homework, she would hurry home to overwork on the streets where she would hardly make ends meet because Miracle and her dad had to eat. Not being homeless felt so good. Not being homeless felt so good. Happy birthday to you, her daddy said. Miracle is now 15 years of age, old enough to get a part-time job, just enough to bump up and start living in a small studio. Hitting the books every day, even on Sundays. Nothing will stop her, not even those long hunger days. The pain she feels every day, she feels especially on holidays. She never really celebrated anything in her life. All she really cared in life was to have a better life. Many years passed by, Miracle had a surprise for her dad. She was glad to say that today was the last day of college. It was time to acknowledge a better future, to live a life like everyone else, have a career and buy a big house. The news were too much for Miracle's dad, that made him have a heart attack. Being rushed to the hospital, Miracle became all hysterical. Doctors said that her father was terrible. She didn't know what to do, couldn't calm down, she fainted and hit the ground. Not being homeless felt so good. Not being homeless felt so good. Woke up, first thing that she saw was a nurse, long hair, cute face. Emily was her name. Didn't know about each other. Emily asking her, are you here because of your brother or your mother? It's my father, he is dying, Miracle said while crying. The nurse took Miracle to her father's and asked her, where is your mother? And before she spoke, her father awoke and said, Miracle, listen up because this nurse is your mother. Not being homeless felt so good. Not being homeless felt so good.